The world in a wall. The crumbling wall that surrounded the garden alongside the house was a rich hunting ground for me. It was an ancient brick wall that had been plastered over, but now this outer skin was green with moss, buckling and sagging with the damp of many winters. The whole surface was an intricate map of cracks, some several inches wide, others as fine as hairs. Here and there, large pieces had dropped off and revealed the rows of rose pink bricks lying beneath. The inhabitants of the wall were a mixed lot, and they were divided into day and night workers, the hunters and the hunted. At night, the toads and geckos were the hunters. They, their prey was the population of stupid, absent-minded plain flies, moths of all shapes and sizes, and rounded beetles hurrying with their night work. By the day, it was difficult to tell the difference between the prey and the predators. Everything seemed to feed off everything else. The hunting webs searched out caterpillars and spiders. The spiders hunted for flies. The dragonflies fed off the spiders and the flies, and the swift, multicolored wall lizards fed off everything. But my favorite were the shyest members of the wall community who did not seek any attention, but they were also the most dangerous. You hardly ever saw one unless you looked for it, and yet there must have been several hundred living in the cracks of the wall. If you gently lifted a piece of the loose plaster away from the brick, there, crouching beneath it, would be a little black sporicon, an ancient looking as though he were made out of polished chocolate. They were weird looking things with their flattened oval bodies, their neat, crude legs, the enormous crab-like claws, bulbous and neatly jointed as a moth, and the tail like a string of brown beads ending a string like a rose thorn. The spiricon would lie there quite quietly as you examined him, only raising his tail as a warning sign if you breathed too hard on him. Then one day I found the fat female spiricon in the wall, wearing what the first glance appeared to be a pale fawn fur coat. Fawn, fawn fur coat. Closer in closer inspection proved that this strange garment was made up of a mass of tiny babies clinging to the mother's back. I was enraptured by this family, and I made up my mind to smuggle them into the house and up to my bedroom so that I might keep them and watch them grow up. With infinite care, I moved the mother and the family into a matchbox and then hurried to the villa. It was rather unfortunate that just as I entered, the outdoor lunch should be served. However, I placed the matchbox carefully on the mantelpiece in the drawing room and made my way to the dining room and joined the family for the meal. Dawdling over my food, feeding Roger superstitiously under the table and listening to the family arguing. I completely forgot about my exciting new captors. At last, Larry had finished the cigarettes from the drawing room, and lying back on his chair, he put one in his mouth and picked up the matchbox and he had brought. Oblivious that the end of my happy days was about to come. I watched my eldest brother interestedly as still talking loudly, he opened a matchbox. Now I instinct to this day that the female Spiricon meant no harm. She was nervous and a little annoyed at being shut up in a matchbox for so long, and so she seized the first opportunity to escape. She pulled her out of the box with great rapidity. Her baby is clinging on desperately, desperately, and scuttled on the back of Larry's hand. They are not quite certain what to do next. She pulled her string curled up at the ready. Larry, feeling the movement of her claws, glanced through to see what it was, and from it moment things got increasingly confused. The uttered of a roar of fright that brought Roger out from beneath the table, barking widely. With a flick of his of his hand, he sent the unfortunate Spiricon flying down the table, and she landed midway between Margot and Leslie, scattering babies like confetti as she thumped on the cloth. And with there was a rapid change through truly en- enla- injured at this treatment. The creature sped towards Leslie, her string conversing with emotion. Leslie leaped to this feat, overturning his chair and flicked out desperately with his napkin, sending the scorpion rolling across the cloth towards Margot, who promptly let out a scream that any railway engine would have been proud to produce. Eek! Look out! Look out! They are coming! Screamed Margot. All we need is a book, roared Leslie. Don't panic. Hit them with a with a book. Mother, completely bewildered by this sudden and rapid change from peace to chores, put on her glasses and peered down the table to see what was causing the pandemonium. And and at that moment, Margot, in a vain attempt to stop the Spiricon's advanced, hurled a glass of water at it. The sword of water missed the animal completely, but successfully drained Mother, who, not being able to stand cold water, promptly lost her breath and sat gasping at the end of the table, unable even to protest. Get a knife, hit them with a book, shouted Larry. That boy will kill the lot of us. Bah! Look at the table, knee deep in scorpions. Kill them. Oh, not. Don't hurt them. Oh no, don't hurt them. I will catch them. I plead until eventually backed up my mother Leslie's suggestion that the whole lot be killed was squashed. By the time a certain amount of water had been restored, all the baby Spiricons had hidden themselves under various plates and bits of cutlery. The results of this ascent were enormous. While the family, still feeling angry, the frightened, moved to the sitting room. I spent half an hour rounding up the babies, picking them up in a teaspoon and returning them to their mother's back. Then I carried them outside on a saucer and reluctantly released them on the garden wall. Roger and I went and spent the afternoon on the hillside, for I left it would be wise to allow the family to have a break before seeing them again. Larry developed a phobia about matchboxes, but from my point of view, the worst repercussion of the whole affair was the mother decided to try to stop me from exploring the animal world. You are running wild again. It is high time you received a little more education. She said, I am getting you a tutor.